Hello, everybody. Welcome to Down the Middle podcast. And for those of you joining us on TikTok, sorry for the delay. We're still getting it sorted out because we just got our TikTok streaming privileges back. No thanks to my co-host on Two Talk 2.0, Virus Fox, for insinuating that he would do something that TikTok did not like, which he did not actually do. But I almost told you what he did, and then we were going to get booted again. Just doing the obligatory audio check on YouTube real quick. I almost told you what he did. We're gonna get. All right, we have audio. Welcome everybody, like I said, to Down the Middle. Today it's just gonna be a nice, relaxing episode. We're just gonna, get brought back up to speed. We had our normal episode 2 weeks ago, but before then we had some delays and blah 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 blah. But anyway, we're just getting caught up, and we're gonna bitch about AEW some more because that's a thing that we do weekly now, it seems. But anyway, this podcast is brought to you by One Weekend at Horrorland. For those of you on YouTube, you will see the promo video. For those of you on TikTok, while that's playing, because I haven't figured out how to do that simultaneously yet, I apologize, but I'll tell you all about it. But where do you want to start, Hakeem? Because there's a lot we can talk about. There's a lot we can
Yeah,
talk about.
there's what happened with NXT. There's Money in the Bank.
You want to just go in
Oh, Money in the Bank was pretty
chronological?
good. Oh yeah, sure, sure. Yeah, sure.
What was first? Because I'm gonna be honest, I've been bad. I haven't watched any full episodes of wrestling. I've seen some stuff on social media and I looked up some stuff because of what I saw happening, but I have not watched
Mhm.
an episode or pay-per-view of wrestling for a while and I need to be better. So what happened first?
I do believe what's it called? AEW Forbidden
Forbidden
Door
Door?
happened first. Yeah, I believe
Oh.
that happened first, and then Money in the Bank happened
I think you're right. I
afterwards.
think you're right. Yeah, and then apparently some stuff went down on Dynamite. But anyway, do you have that card pulled up? Because unfortunately, I cannot use my phone because it is
Yeah, give me 1 second.
you're fine. Because I also didn't watch it, but I did listen to, and I'm starting to think the Jim Cornette Experience reviews of AEW pay-per-views are becoming more entertaining than the pay-per-views.
Yeah, that is true.
I mean, it's good shit. Not gonna lie. Jim Cornette is just entertaining as hell. And here's the thing. Here's how I know he's not lying, which I never thought he was. But when Jim Cornette
Uh-huh.
says he's not working for any of these companies because he doesn't want to, he doesn't need the money. I know that because I guarantee you, maybe not WWE maybe not because they know he'd be trouble. But like well, we know for a fact it's been established that Jim Cornette was called very early on by Tony Khan and Jim was giving him
Yeah, I
advice.
heard that.
But then when he found out that Tony was kind of going into business with the elite, he was like, "Nope, not interested." And how naive we were back then. We were
Okay, I
hopeful.
have it.
We were hopeful back then. But anyway,
Back then it was a lot better. At least we thought it would be.
that's true. But there were signs. There were signs in the very beginning.
That yeah,
But we
that was true.
but we were wide eyed and hopeful. But all right. So let's get cracking on Forbidden Door. Hello,
Yeah,
everyone on TikTok. And by the way, if you have any comments or questions or insults you would like to share, feel free to do so in the comments. Uh, I will just be warned if you insult anybody, be ready to get it back.
the at Forbidden Door, the first match was MJF versus um some luchador guy,
Oh, Hichichero, which I
Hiroshio.
actually
Hiroshio, yeah. I don't really know him to be honest.
I don't know who to fuck. I was joking around calling him Luchador number two.
Oh, okay.
But apparently the match wasn't bad. Apparently it was.
No,
I
it
mean,
wasn't. It wasn't bad at all.
apparently it was good. However, so this makes me wonder though. I mean, I question the booking. I did this on the first Forbidden Door for those of you who followed the show. I asked the question. I was like, the concept is great. but they don't book shit. They don't book anything for this pay-per-view. This is literally just matches thrown together. There might be an angle the week before. It's not it's
Yeah,
so
that's
the
right.
matches are cold for the most part, as was this one. Now, as per usual, MJF took chicken shit. I don't know if he made chicken salad, but I think he made a chicken sandwich out of it based on what I
Yeah, it wasn't the best like banger match as they say, but it was better than what I thought it would be.
well, I mean the bar was kind of low,
That's true.
but like I said, I didn't watch it. I'm going based on things that I've heard and just what I
Mhm.
know about these people. I'm sure the in-ring work was fine at
Oh yeah,
worst
yeah,
and good
yeah.
at
It
best,
was. Yeah.
fantastic at best. Yeah, so any other thoughts on that? Because I heard, according to Mr. Cornette, I should have worn the Jim Cornette shirt, but I elected to wear the new CM
uh,
Punk WWE shirt. Um, well, because he listens to the drive through and the experience too, So any other thoughts on MJF versus Ichichiro?
no, it honestly, it was just surprised he was there in the first place. Because I remember before he was like he'll never do a Forbidden Door or something like that. But I was
Oh,
just
that
shocked
being
that he
MJF.
actually did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of surprised too because frankly, MJF at this point, I gotta think, and yes, I am putting words into his mouth. I gotta think MJF is just waiting to get through his contract, so he probably doesn't want to argue too much. So he was probably like, "Yeah, cool, I'll wrestle this luchador guy, but I'm calling the match, and we're not gonna do anything
Yeah,
stupid. We're just gonna get through this because there's no build up, there's no booking, there's no nothing." And when you have matches like that, unfortunately, nobody stands to gain much of anything, but they could potentially lose a lot. Injuries, looking
exactly.
dumb, bad angle, with no sympathy, right? Because even if there's proper build up to a match, and then even if things go wrong, you can still get sympathy for your babyface, right?
Exactly. It's like this. When I saw it, it made me want to watch more of him, but like not go out my way to like see the next match of him. But it does make me curious to say, okay, where is he at, so I can look more at him smashes and stuff.
Well,
So it
and
did help that way.
yeah, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. My problem with Lucha Libre is you can't watch it here, or at least not
Yeah.
consistently. Like I
Mm-hmm.
remember because I wanted to start watching AAA, and I forget where I think it was on their website. It was their website or their YouTube channel where they're saying like, yes,
Uh-huh.
here's how to watch if you're in the USA. And I went to said place and it wasn't available. So, and then what little I could watch because I ended up inadvertently watching Triple Mania from the year before, and
Oh,
every
okay.
every every match was just a car crash. I mean, but like if you think AEW is bad, holy shit, watch AAA. And I can only imagine that CMLL is the same. And I've talked about this spot before, but I'm not even like this is the level, and I get it, it's lucha, it's different, but it's still dumb. And here's why. I watched a
Yeah.
guy go running from the ramp, jump onto the top rope, jump to the other top rope, jump and turn around and then do a moonsault, and the whole time the guy who's gonna catch him just stands there.
That's the part I hate. I
Just
never get that part.
and
Yeah.
I've recently seen these spots done well.
Yeah.
I can't, and I apologize, I can't remember where exactly. I don't think it was AEW. Yeah, if it was AEW, I would have remembered it, been like, oh shit, somebody
Hmm.
knows how to do it. But I mean, just have somebody hold the guy. I mean, damn, they
Yeah,
even did
like
that in ECW.
that's true.
But any other final thoughts on MJF versus Ichichiro?
No, it was just a decent 10-minute match. It wasn't the best, wasn't the worst. It was just good.
Yeah, like I said, at this point, I gotta believe MJF is just sitting back, collecting checks, waiting for his contract to expire.
Yeah. And if he's still like healing or something like that, no, he won't really
Well,
want to take it easy.
Yeah, well, they kept saying that his contract comes up in 2024, which it is only July, and also he was injured. So because of that, Tony may choose to extend the I don't know what the terms were, but
Yeah.
typically there's an option to extend the contract in the event of injury. So
Hmm.
we might see MJF have to stick it out in AEW till 2025. But
Yeah, or the very least, like towards like November-ish or
yeah, and that would
something.
make sense because I think he probably signed in the fall anyway, but and then he
Yeah,
renewed. He's already renewed his contract once, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah. So, or I don't know, if anybody knows something we don't, it's MJF. So maybe they're making some changes because I had heard too that Dynamite's getting better. I think maybe we might finally be because I mean, once again, CM Punk said it, and it's pretty much been confirmed that the number one priority in AEW is not getting new fans. It's not selling tickets. It's not selling merchandise. It's having banger matches. Unfortunately, when you want to stay on television, ratings actually matter. And before anybody says anything about, well, WWE's ratings are down too. Yes, well, not relative, but what I mean by that is, yes, less people are watching TV, more people are streaming. But compare the numbers, and WWE's ratings are going up, by the way. AEW's are going down. So even on that relative scale, AEW is still going down, and WWE is still going up. So,
Yeah, they're matching with NXT, so
well,
and
well
NXT beat it a few times.
yeah,
So
they did. And what was that Triple H said? He's like, congratulations, you beat developmental,
yeah,
you know? And it's just kind of like, I mean, when you put it that way. I mean, at the same time, let's be fair. We know that NXT, or at least we're pretty sure, because nobody's come out and said it, but we're pretty sure NXT got moved to USA Network to compete with AEW. I'm sorry,
I'm pretty sure.
when you
Yeah,
move a wrestling show onto cable TV at 8 p.m. At the exact same time a rival wrestling program starts on television at 8 p.m. on Wednesdays. I mean, that's pretty it's pretty
yeah,
obvious
yeah.
that you're going head to head. But anyway, what was the next match?
Oh, the next match was six-man tag,
Of
the
course it
Elite.
was.
Yeah, it was the Elite versus the Acclaim.
Oh, this was yeah, it was Acclaimed and
Yeah, I remember this
Tanahashi,
one.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I knew it was
Yeah.
yeah, Tamahashi.
Well, now this is one where I actually disagree with Mr. Cornette, and I think the only reason, and well, I have to disagree. So he thinks
Mhm.
he's under the impression and says the same that Okada and Tanahashi are not worth that they are unknowns on American television, and that's I guess it's true in a way, but it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, because his point is, unless you're a
Mhm.
fan of New Japan prior to this, you wouldn't know who they are. So fair enough, but it's not like these guys are unknown.
Yeah.
Now, that
And
being
to be
said,
honest, I known them only because of AJ. When AJ came in, that's when I started to look at New Japan, and
same
that's when
here.
I knew. So in
Same
a way, I
here.
understand
That's
what he means.
yeah. So, like I said, he's not wrong per se. And of course, I might be
Uh-huh.
biased because I've been a fan of Tanahashi since I started watching New Japan, and I've been a fan of Okada since I started watching New Japan. But yeah, me too. That was
Same here.
because of AJ. Like I knew what New
Yeah.
Japan was, but I wasn't watching. I didn't know you could watch it.
Same. Same here.
And then I started seeing AJ Styles going to New Japan, and I'm like, okay, how do I watch this? And then I figured out how to watch it.
Yeah.
And I still, to this day, I remember New Japan from about 2016 to 2019 being some of the best wrestling I've ever seen in my life. And I try to watch New Japan, but watching wrestling right now, especially since there's so much going on, um,
Yeah.
it's totally my fault, but at the same time, I kind of have an excuse because there's so much stuff going on with the company, so much stuff going on with the Goosebumps convention, which we might as well go into now because I segued unintentionally. So without further ado, here is the promotional video for One Weekend at Horrorland, the convention being put on by the Goosebumps crew, Arate Media, and Force and Corp. So here it is.
Hey there, Goosebumps fans. Are you ready for the ultimate horror filled adventure? Well, listen up because I got some exciting news for you. As a cover artist for the Goosebumps franchise, I've seen firsthand how this amazing series has captured the hearts of readers for years. And now it's time to bring our spooky world to life like never before. Introducing One Weekend at Horrorland, the biggest Goosebumps convention ever. But here's the catch. We need your help to make it happen. That's right. We're calling on all you die-hard Goosebumps fans to join us on our Kickstarter campaign and help donate towards this incredible event. With your donations, we'll transform One Weekend at Horrorland into a mesmerizing celebration of all things Goosebumps. You'll have a chance to meet some of your favorite authors and artists, dive into some thrilling interactive experiences, and even get your hands on some limited edition Goosebumps merchandise. Trust me, it's going to be epic. Don't miss out on this exciting opportunity to become a part of the Goosebumps family. So head over to our Kickstarter page and let's make One Weekend at Horrorland a reality. Save the date and let's make this convention a sleeves-turning success. Thanks.
Amos Crawley. I don't know. I'll think of it.
It's really cool.
I agree. It is
Yeah,
very cool.
yeah, I know of Craig White. I seen like his art and stuff. Like, so
He, yeah,
I
he
didn't read
did.
much of the Goosebumps, but I did follow his artwork and stuff.
Yeah, he did some of the covers for the Give Yourself Goosebumps series. In
Okay,
addition to all that, there's going to be a Scarelastic book fair there where we will have old, rare, and original Goosebumps books that you can purchase and have these people sign them. So you can buy yourself an old copy of The Haunted Mask and get it signed by Catherine Long, who played Carly Beth in the '90s show, and Tim Jacobus, who did the original cover art. So you're not going to want to miss this. I wish I could remember the other because there's one other person, and I feel so stupid
uh-huh.
for maybe no, maybe that is it thus far that's been announced because I have to be careful too because there's some people that we're in talks with that haven't actually been announced yet, so I got to watch myself. But there's some cool stuff coming. So, but anyway, we still need your help with the Kickstarter. First link in the description for those of you on YouTube. If you are watching on TikTok, you can just go to Kickstarter and search for One Weekend at Horrorland, but make sure that Horrorland is two words. We had to do that for legal reasons. So One Weekend at Horror Space Land. Or you can also use weekend at horrorland.com, but you have to be careful because for some reason, I think it's because it's Kickstarter, for some reason, some network security features flag it as a malware and phishing site, even though we paid
Okay,
for
yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
yeah, even though we paid for an SSL certificate, just for some reason, it works
Hmm.
most of the time, but I guess some people, myself included, at my work, it's weird. It works at home just fine, but if I try to type it in at work, it flags it as a phishing site. So anyway, yeah, so more on New Japan, but Mr. Cornette is basically saying that Tanahashi and Okada, and to a certain extent, I understand why he says this. He says they're not worth what Tony is paying for Okada, and Tanahashi needs to retire. That's what he's saying. Now, the thing is, Tanahashi's been on a slow retirement for like 10 years now. You know,
Yeah,
I mean, I don't mean that as a joke. It's true because they were talking about him
I know he
retiring.
is.
He were
Yeah,
talking about him retiring soon when I started watching New Japan,
yeah.
and I took it seriously. Although I will say, a match I really 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 want to see before either of them retire, and I think this would be exceptional, which is why I kind of hope WWE is talking with New Japan or at least on friendly terms. I'd love to see
Uh-huh.
Cena versus Tanahashi.
Oh, that'd be really good.
Well, because you have I don't know what year, but I think technically think technically this is inaccurate from a time perspective, but Tanahashi is kind of like the Cena of New Japan.
Yeah.
So I think they'd have a great match. I think it'd be stellar.
Yeah, especially since he's retiring. So that'd be really good.
I'd love to see John just show up for Wrestle Kingdom. I think that would be cool as hell.
I would actually pop. I'm not even like a big John Cena fan, but I would still pop for that.
I think the entire wrestling world would pop for that.
Yeah.
I really do. Unfortunately, it doesn't really benefit WWE other than the cool factor. But it would benefit WWE to bring Tanahashi over for maybe a WrestleMania. Well, not a WrestleMania, because again, you run into the whole Tanahashi's probably not super well known to WWE fans,
Yeah.
not casual fans. I know hardcore wrestling fans are like, I know who Tanahashi is. I'm like, I get it, I know you
Hmm.
do, but the 8-year-olds that started watching WWE 2 years ago probably don't know who Tanahashi is.
Yeah. Honestly, even some of the adults that's only watched WWE wouldn't know who he is either.
Hmm. And then as far as Okada goes, see, here's the thing, and this is why it's frustrating to me because I've seen, well, Tanahashi too to a certain extent, but I've seen Okada have extremely great matches. I mean,
Yeah,
stellar matches.
absolutely.
And for some reason in AEW, I'm just not seeing it.
It's
Now,
not there. It's not there at all.
I suspect, because I said early on when we were debating on where Okada was going, I said he's probably going to go to
Mhm.
AEW for the Elite, but also he might be just healing for a while because there's no denying the New Japan style is
It's rough.
it's a
Yeah,
motherfucker. Like
yeah.
it beats people up. But I suspect we're probably seeing Okada kind of healing up and having fun for a while. Hopefully, and I even speculated because WWE was knocking for Okada, and I suspect he probably wanted
Mhm.
to take some time, make a lot of money because believe you me, he's making a lot of money there, and he doesn't have to do anything strenuous if he doesn't want to because Tony's going to let him do whatever he wants to do. And to a point, Okada's one of those people where, yeah, you let Okada do what Okada wants to do.
Uh-huh.
I think he might be resting up. I still maintain he should do a WWE run before he retires. He's not super old, so I think with some rest, healing, and maybe some surgeries, if
Yeah,
necessary.
it doesn't really look like him though. Like he doesn't look the same as he did. It looks like he already retired and he's coming back out of retirement.
You know, and fair enough because he was no, actually, no. He even did a New Japan. He even did a couple of New Japan events that he was contractually obligated to after signing with AEW. So no, he really
Uh-huh.
hasn't gotten the break yet. So I maintain
Yeah.
he's probably just resting up and healing, hopefully. But I heard this match was the shits. I heard it was dumb. I heard there were moments where you could actually see people like peeking up over the ring to see if it was their turn to come in and do something.
I didn't see all of that part, but it wasn't that good. It was just like I don't know. It wasn't good at all. It was like a lot of like I don't know. They had different directions and they didn't actually know what to do. It got confusing at some point.
I
I'm
can
not
believe
sure
that.
like who was
Which
legal.
Okay, speaking of what, let me guess. Let me guess. Rick Knox was the referee,
See, I don't think he was.
or was it Aubrey? It was him or Aubrey.
I I forgot who was the ref. Like, let's check, but I forgot who the ref was. But
Oh, I forgot. I think it was Aubrey because Jim,
yeah,
Jim made a Jim made a reference. He said, "Did you notice that Aubrey sounded like Ethel Merman when she was counting people? Just she was kind of like 3, 4, 5." I don't know why that made me laugh so hard. But oh my god. Speaking of stupid shit though, I got a bone to pick with you. And
Uh-huh.
I kept forgetting to bring this up. But you had made mention, you had told me about a match that happened at what was the AEW pay-per-view prior to Forbidden Door? Was that Double or Nothing?
Yeah,
Or
it was.
yeah,
Or
okay.
yeah, was it like the Cashin,
Man,
like
I don't know. I don't know.
Casino something?
It was
They're
no,
stupid names.
it was a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And it was a match with Darby. But apparently, you neglected to mention to me that they hung Darby Allin upside down on a cable in the middle of the
Oh
ring.
yeah, I forgot forgot all about that. Yeah,
And apparently they set him on fire.
yeah.
Or
They
they set
did?
Jungle Boy. They set Jungle Boy on fire.
Oh, okay.
But what the reason, and I gotta admit, when I heard the details of that, I don't get offended by much. And I shouldn't say I was offended, but I was just like, I can't believe they were so stupid to do that. Everyone involved. And the reason being is because Owen Hart's widow was in the audience. She was there.
Oh, she was?
Yeah. Because
Oh wow.
it was the start of the Owen Cup.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right.
So the widow of Owen Hart, who for those of you who don't know, Owen Hart
Yeah.
died from, I mean, it was an accident, but he fell from a because he was doing the Blue Blazer gimmick and he would fly into the ring
Yeah, yeah.
on a cable and obviously it broke and he died. So while Owen Hart's widow is at the show, um, you proceed to suspend somebody upside down 20 some odd feet in the air on a cable. So not only going over the stupidity
Yeah.
of that just in a vacuum,
That's
because
pretty
again,
distasteful.
yeah, so it's dumb on its face because, and especially
Yeah.
for Darby Allin. Like it'd be one thing to do it for a jobber, but I would still say it's not worth risking anyone's life for that. And
Yeah.
if you're going to do it to a jobber, it's not worth it, and it's not worth the risk to do it to one of your main event talents who already has a death wish.
Yeah.
I just I I think that might have been not the nail in the coffin, but that's kind of when I made a conscious decision to be like, I'm not going to try super hard to watch AEW because every time I watch it, I'm disappointed, and then I'm disappointed at best and insulted at worst. So I hope it gets better, but I'm going to be honest, I don't really want to watch it until I get wind of things really changing around there. And I know that's heresy because I know
Yeah, I
you gotta
agree.
support him. You gotta support him, man. It's like, yeah, I did. I supported him from day one. And how did they repay me? They got rid of or ran off every legitimate major star they ever had that could get out because they still have some, but they're still under contract. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and they give TV time to like, and Marco Stunt is back.
He is?
Marco Stunted came back. I think it was on Collision. So there's some
Oh, I
silver
didn't
line.
watch Collision.
And he had a match with Jungle Boy. I'm sorry, with Jack Perry, with Jungle Jackoff.
It's probably like
And
a one-time thing. I
I'm
can't
just,
see him like hiring him.
but here's the thing about that.
But
That makes it even stupider because the fact that Jack
yeah,
Perry,
it does.
who's supposed to be associated with the top heel stable and allegedly one of the top heels in the company, or so they're trying to present him, has a competitive match with a guy that's less than 5 feet tall. Competitive match. Not a squash match. See, a squash match, no, a squash match would have made sense because then they could have played it as like, well, yeah,
It would have.
well, because now Jack's not doing this for
Yeah,
the fun of it. Now he means business, so he's not gonna play around, you know. But no, he had a
exactly.
competitive
He's trying to get
match.
rid of his past.
Yeah, but instead he
But
had a competitive match. With this match should have been two, not even 2 minutes, minute and a half tops.
yeah,
I guarantee you it was every bit of
yeah.
at least 7 to 10 minutes. Guaranteed. I mean, the clip itself was like 4. So, So I can only imagine it was, yeah, I
Even
just,
that's too much.
and I mean, I wish Marco Stunt all the luck in the world, but I mean, come on. Like, there's underdogs and then there's bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, To me, he is like the rock star Spud.
But Rockstar
Like
Spud was not, I gotta be
he wasn't
careful
in the
what I,
ring.
well, but Rockstar Spud was a cruiserweight. Marco
Yeah,
Stunt, like, and I don't mean this disparaging, this is an actual term. Marco Stunt is a mini. I mean, he is. He's, he's,
yeah,
he's like the tallest mini, but he's a dwarf among hobbits.
yeah. He
But
doesn't look like it so much,
not
but
proportionately, no. But I mean,
yeah,
height wise, yeah.
exactly, exactly. That's what I
Well, I
mean.
mean,
Yeah,
he looks like a child.
yeah.
Like,
He does.
it's just one of those things where I'm not going to say he's not good, but I can't tell. Okay, here's the problem with Marco Stunt. It's the same problem with Riho. When somebody is that much smaller than everybody else, even if they're good at what they do, it's obvious that they're cooperating. Because I'm sorry, when Marco Stunt successfully executes a Hurricane Rana on Bubba Ray Dudley, I know it's bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, and that's actually, you know what? I don't think he did a Hurricane Rana on Bubba Ray, but he's done it on bigger people before. And it's like, this is obvious cooperation. Just like the spot with Riho that I can't stand, the whole somebody covers her, but they do it obviously so that she can backbend out of it.
Uh-huh.
And
It's so weird
it's dumb because
because
the other person has to let her out. She is not big enough to get out on her own. So
there's no one
the other person has to do
that
like a
could.
modified knee plank. I mean, to be fair,
Uh-huh.
she could probably get out of a Marco stunt cover.
He's probably the only one that I think should fight her.
See, why don't that match have that match?
Yeah, it'll be like so believable.
They they
Even then. Oh,
they like the intergender matches, so why not have at it?
yeah.
Which by the way, Riho's disappeared from TV again. I don't know if you're or has she? I don't know. Has she been around?
I thought she was back in Japan or something like that.
Probably. I don't know. But yeah, I heard the match was the shits, and if I'm wrong, let me know. But I don't. Everything
No,
I
no,
heard.
no. You was completely right. He was even right by the ref. It was Rick Knox.
Well, Rick Knox is always. So there was some match that Aubrey Edwards counting in apparently sounded like Ethel Merman,
Yeah.
but Rick Knox is always the Young Bucks referee, and as you as you're well aware, if you watched the previous episode, Rick Knox I would fire in a heartbeat. He's not a good referee, and I don't
Not
know if
worth it.
it's
He's not.
I don't know that he chooses to be a bad referee or if he just is bad. But either way, I honestly don't know which one's worse. Probably
I
intentionally
think
being a
he's
bad referee.
actually is bad. I think he's bad, but he's leaning towards in it that people know that he's bad. So he's like, okay, you know.
Yeah. What was the next match?
It was the Owen Hart Foundation men's tournament. It was Brian Danielson versus Tagashi or
Oh,
Chashi Taki.
Shingo Takagi.
Yeah, Shingo Taki.
Okay, so here's the thing
Uh,
about Shingo. I was watching New Japan when he debuted with Lij. I'm given to understand that he'd been there before, but then
mhm.
went to another promotion and then came back to join Lij when somebody was injured. Actually, um, I've never been a fan. I've never understood it. This is another case where I'm probably wrong because everybody seems to like Shingo's work. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I don't get it. He's kind of like Sonata to me, everybody was on this Sonata train, and
Uh-huh.
I'm just like, I don't
Hmm.
see it. Like, again, not to say Sonata is bad. I just don't see what all the hubbub was, because when Sonata was first starting to get his push, he looked like generic wrestler number 4. He didn't talk.
Hmm.
He had one facial expression. His hair was kind of goofy, but not like.
Hmm.
And now he's got the whole like super blonde mohawk thing going, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess now at least he looks different. But I remember watching this. I'm like, why are they pushing this dude?
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like he's okay. He's a good wrestler, but to me, they give him more credit than what he's worth. In a way, like he's not that exciting. His
That's
moveset is
just it.
okay, but
That's just it. Yeah,
it's
he's
kind
not that
of
exciting.
generic.
Yeah, I just remember when he had his first like IWGP title match, which he did not win, by the way. But actually, like they're holding up the belt, and he just has this face the whole time, just this, And I was just like, ugh. Anywho, yeah. So how was this one?
Oh, it was pretty good. It was like a more of a New Japan style match. No, rough hitting, hard spots. They both looked like they were in pain, a lot of pain. But it wasn't bad. Uh, the finish was okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just looked down. Somebody called Long Gnome Circle Jerk joined the TikTok. First of all, fantastic username, and secondly, welcome. Uh, I some of these people, the names they come up with, s-
Yeah,
kills
I
me.
know. That's pretty good though.
That's good. Kudos on that. Can I send you a little trophy here? No, I can't because I don't know how. But you get an imaginary trophy for best username that I've seen today. I mean, and Brian Danielson's another person I've been kind of frustrated with in AEW because again, I've seen him do incredible work, and I'm not saying the matches are bad, but there's really no build up, so it hits less because it means less. Like think about when Daniel Bryan was riding the Yes Movement wave of the audience saying, no, we want him, and them telling that story. And then when he finally won, it was 10 times more powerful because of it. Whereas here, it's just kind of like, hey, Brian, who do you want to wrestle? Uh,
Yeah, that's the way it feels.
some guy from Japan. Cool. Book it. But don't actually book it, just make the match. And then say, in 1 month, you and I, who have never wrestled or met each other before, are going to get in this ring and beat the shit out of each other for no reason.
Yeah, it feels like it's just like match after match he has. Like the last good thing he had was like with William Regal when he came in. I liked that part, but other than that, to me, it just like they have matches every week,
Yeah, black
but
back
no
back
story.
back when the Blackpool Combat Club made sense as a
Yeah,
name.
yeah, 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 pretty much. Like even I thought it was going to turn all hill in a way they kind of did, but to me, it didn't go
Well, but that,
nowhere.
that that's
There was no
another
story.
thing. That's another thing that AEW does is they turn heels into baby faces, but they still act like heels, and then baby faces have to
Yeah,
act heels to be popular. And it's just and it changes from week to week. So
yeah.
it's they don't know how to book baby faces at all, but they really don't know how to book heels either. Because the only person in that company that could really be considered a heel is MJF, and even they screwed that up by turning him babyface.
Yeah,
But
I absolutely hated that whole MJF
what
and Cole.
we said it, man. We said it.
I didn't like it at all.
We said this is the stupidest thing ever, and it's
Yeah,
even made me not care to watch MJF. And that's saying
Yeah,
something.
sad to say. Yeah, absolutely. Like
Well,
he
like,
was the
because they,
reason why I was watching it.
why are they not? It's right there. Actually, you know what I would love to see? I was thinking about this the other day. Here's what I would love to see, and this is going to take some time. Make the four pillars a stable while they're all still there,
Yeah, I can see that.
and make this all MJF's master plan to be like, you know what? When I signed with this company, I was told that wins and losses matter. I was told that this is where the best are going to wrestle, and I was told this is where young talent will be elevated. Well, guess what? Ever since Money Mark Tony Khan started getting a hold of old WWE guys, and he can't even keep a hold of half of them, the four pillars, and it can be their version of the four horsemen.
Yeah,
I mean, think
it
about it,
writes
because
itself.
and it's about the only way you could turn Darby Allin heel. But I think they could do it. I mean, think about that. Think
Yeah.
about a stable where, and you could even erase this heel elite nonsense too. Well,
Oh
actually,
yeah.
the four pillars would end up being baby faces because they obviously feud against the elite,
Right.
because they're the old guard.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, think about that. MJF, Darby Allin, even Jack Perry can be saved with this kind of storyline. And then who am I? MJF, Darby Allin, Jack, and Sammy Guevara. And Sammy Guevara needs saved right now
I
because
haven't even
God,
seen him.
God knows what they're doing with
I
him.
don't know where he's at.
Well, think about it. The four pillars can feud with the Bucks, Okada, and Jericho.
Yeah, I would definitely watch that.
I'd love that. I'd watch the hell out of that.
Yeah.
And then when it's finally time to break it up, you can go into your stupid damn dog. You can go into your Darby Allin MJF promo
They can even bring in Britt Baker as one of the
as a
pillars of the
pillar.
four. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
I thought about that too, and I was like, yeah, and you can even have Britt Baker be one of the pillars because yeah, I mean it's just it's right there, man.
It is.
It's right
I
there.
think if they do that, that will actually make good wrestling,
It
good
would make
story.
it would make
Yeah.
AEW must watch TV again.
Mhm.
Hell, you can elevate that into a whole like war between basically two super factions, and it would work because you've got your young stars plus your AEW originals who didn't come from WWE directly. You know,
Mhm.
you can get Scorpio Sky back on TV.
Yeah. It's
You
a
can get
shame he's off.
you can get
Yeah.
Jamie Hayter back on TV.
He's been going for almost a year,
Yeah.
not more.
And MJF, think of the promos, man. MJF can be like, there was only one of you that actually tried to do any of this shit, Cody Rhodes, and you ran him off because he was trying to build a wrestling company, you know. It could be great. And he's like,
It could be.
You ran off Jade Cargill, who was rookie of the
Yeah.
year, you know. You ran off CM Punk, which other than Maxwell Jacob Freeman was the number one drawing star this company's ever seen. I mean, think of the heat he could get, but not
Uh-huh.
heat for him, heat for AEW, because everything he'd be saying would be correct.
It would be.
Actually, he could
And
bring back
it'd be
tell
everything everybody said before, and the reason
well,
why they're, the way they act now.
and he could look in the camera and go, "Tell me when I'm telling lies, Tony." It would be such good shit, man. It would be such good shit, but they won't do it because it's smart.
They'll do some silly stuff with the elite, and
But if you
that's
think
it.
about
But
it, it can be their version of it could be their four horsemen, their NWO. It could be their super stable. And it's a group that makes sense. And it's a group that, especially with what's happening now, it would make sense for them to get together because it's like, hey, the company ain't looking out for us. So clearly,
exactly, exactly. Like they could all see the ratings, see it's going down. They gotta do something, so we're gonna do it ourselves. No, forget him as a booker. Booker of the year. Yeah.
Honestly, and that would
Yeah.
and it would make the Young Bucks actual heels, which is what they're trying to do now,
Yeah.
but it would make them
That would.
legitimate heels. And what
Mhm.
would be really cool is when Kenny Omega is fully back, he could be caught in the middle because Kenny Omega was
Yeah.
another one of those indie guys. Yeah, he's an
Yeah.
EVP, but he's on record saying like I didn't even want to be an EVP. I just wanted to wrestle. I just wanted to make and he could be a constant pull
Yep.
between them.
They could be
Like
like history with the Young Bucks. Like, hey, we all started this. No, but in his heart, he's still just a wrestler. So, it would be
the
really good.
well, they won't do it because it would require the EVPs and Tony Khan to acknowledge that they messed up live on air. They'd have to do it for it to work and make sense. Now they can do it from a heel perspective, that's fine, but they'd have to admit it. But yeah, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah,
But
because
anyway,
if you think about it, if they didn't like make money with CM Punk while he was there,
but they did
and
though.
like that whole thing. Yeah, I mean with like the whole backstage thing,
Yeah.
like
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah,
yeah,
they
yeah.
couldn't.
They
Well, they're kind of like the U.S. government in a way because when they see an opportunity that is literally just a good idea,
yeah.
like they're like, nah, it's too good of an idea. We're not going to do that. That just makes too much damn sense. But anywho, what was I love how you know what else we haven't done yet? This is how little we care about this show. We haven't even said who won these matches.
Oh, yeah, yeah. The first MGF,
Yeah,
the 6-man tag was of the Elite
of course it was.
and Ryan Danielson beats Shingo.
Cool. But yeah, that's funny because that's how
Uh,
little
yeah, I know. It's like whatever.
whatever.
Uh,
Wins and losses don't matter anyway.
Not there
And
though.
you watch Shingo will be. I bet you Shingo was on Collision later that week.
He probably was.
Yeah, I'd be willing to bet money. It's like, yeah, he just had a match with Bryan Danielson, the best wrestler in the world, and this week he's facing Luchador number 7.
I was gonna say Orange Cassidy.
Probably. And probably lose too.
The
That
next
could be
match was
a funny bit with the 4 pillars and Orange Cassidy wants to join up with them and MJF literally throws a pie in his face.
he had a match on this too. It was not that good.
Which one?
It was Zack Sabre Jr. versus Orange Cassidy.
Oh, you've got God damn it. Are you
I didn't
serious?
like it. Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Oh.
Zack won. I'm glad he did.
Yeah,
But
because he probably okay, so Zack Sabre Jr. is another person where I'm not gonna say I never enjoyed his work, but I got sick of it real early because again
yeah,
he's a guy I get he's tiny. I know he's 6'1", but he's tiny. As an old friend of mine said in his comedy act, he's like the palest Ethiopian. Like
yeah.
he's and here's the thing. So the I was thinking about this the other day too. Zack Sabre Jr. is a submission specialist, which would be fine if he looked like he could pick up 50 pounds.
Yeah.
The problem is because to put a submission in, you actually do have to be able to use at least a fair bit of strength, especially with guys that are 200 plus pounds of solid muscle. Like they will be able to just power out of most of your shit when you look like that. Um,
Look at Samoa Joe. Like
Samoa
he
Joe would
looks
kill
like
him.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like Samoa Joe as the Samoan submission machine. Yeah, I buy that all day long.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I buy that all day long. Um, I even buy Daniel Bryan, who is smaller, but he looks like he goes to the gym
He does. He has abs.
because he does go to the gym. But I will say this about Zack Sabre Jr. At least previously, he always at least presented the gimmick as legitimate. So he probably did say, I'm not getting in the ring with that idiot unless I'm going to win. Because it's stupid. And if I lose to him, it's going to ruin any credibility I ever had, which is already slim to none because, well, I don't eat.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like the world's most angriest vegan. Like, but yeah, so that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. I
But
saw it, but it wasn't that good of a match, to be honest. It was
well,
slow. It was a lot of like hand holding. You know?
did he hug him?
A lot.
But so here's the other reason why it's stupid to have that match in the first place because okay, I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure Zack Sabre Jr. said, I'm not having this match unless I beat him. Fine. But who's going to be on AEW television the next week? The mascot, the little
Yeah.
dog Pockets, Tony Khan's secret crush. So now how do you explain? Well, I mean, you can't explain why, uh, you can explain why Pockets loses a match like that because, well, the way he's presented. And it's a travesty because I know Orange Cassidy can wrestle. So I wonder. I saw a
Oh.
video from him. I think it was in Evolve, but where he did the world's slowest Canadian destroyer. Oh, see, the whole reason he got hired though is because his antics are funny to pro wrestlers.
Yeah.
It makes as Jim would say, as Mr. Cornette would say, it makes the boys pop, so they assume that it'll make the audience pop, and it did for a minute.
For a little bit. It did for a while. But to
I'll
me
admit
now
it.
even the
Yeah.
people's not with it.
I'll admit it. The first time I saw it, I did laugh, but I also said,
Yeah.
this is fucking stupid.
Yeah, I
And
was like
then,
laughing at him, not with him, you know.
yeah,
Yeah, you
exactly.
know.
But then he had the match at Revolution against Pac, and I was like, why does he do this? Because he can wrestle.
Absolutely.
Well,
Yeah.
I might add, like a cruiserweight, but still, But anyway, I digress. So Zack Sabre spanked him. Next,
Oh, it was the AEW Women's title,
next,
World's title.
skip.
Okay, it was.
No,
It
I
was.
heard, I,
Yeah, it
I
was.
heard,
Tony.
I heard that at least her name's Mina Shirakawa, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh no. Yeah, yeah, yes. And they had Mariah May
Yeah, no,
as
but it was it
the
was it
star.
was Mina versus Tony,
Oh, yeah,
right?
it was. It was. It was.
Okay. I'm given to understand that Mina Shirakawa is at least being honest about what women's wrestling is.
Oh yeah.
Um, so I mean, I guess points for that, I
Hmm.
guess. But like actually Brian Last said something that made me chuckle because it's true. He was like AEW's women's division is basically a wedgie contest.
Honestly,
Uh,
if you
That's
look back of it, it
that's
kind of
that's
is.
that's why it made me laugh. I was kind of like, and I mean, respect to Jamie Hayter, and that's all I'm gonna say. But it made me laugh for a reason. He said, "I'll give credit where credit's due. At least Mina Shirakawa was being honest about it."
Was it the worst match I've seen there?
Well,
It
And
it had good spots. It was
well, and I
decent.
I, I was gonna say because I've heard good things about Mina Shirakawa. I just haven't seen her wrestle
Yeah.
yet, so I'm not gonna.
Hmm.
And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Tony Storm is one of those people where I still don't get it, but there's clearly something there. I just don't see it. So while I may not like it, it's the whole reason why, like, if I was put in AEW, if I was put in charge of AEW, I would not fire Tony Storm. No,
No, no,
just because I don't get it doesn't mean there's not something there, and the gimmick is not so stupid that it. And let's be honest here, the wrestling business is already dead in terms of being taken seriously in any way, shape, or form. So like you kind of have to tolerate some of the goofiness, but so Tony Storm's gimmick is not so insulting that it just completely makes fun of wrestling. It's just a little bit on the goofy side, which is fine because I mean, at least she
Yeah,
sticks to it. Which I guess I saw something where Mariah May finally double crossed her, and I'm watching this because Tony Storm's bleeding and Mariah May's hitting her in the face with the heel, and the whole time I'm thinking, why is Tony Storm just sitting there, letting her stab her in the face when she is completely conscious?
yeah, she can just move.
She's not
That's yeah.
unconscious. She
Hmm.
could move, she could stand up, she could kick her, she could
Yeah,
bite her. But no, she's just sitting there, fully conscious, like, hit me again,
yeah.
Mariah. Hit me again. But it's okay because it's in the script. But who won? I guess Tony won because I saw that she still
Yeah,
had the
Tony.
belt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tony won.
But how was Mina?
He's actually pretty good. Like those Joshi type
Yeah, because
wrestlers. She
she was
reminds
in
me
Stardom, right?
Stardom. Yeah, Stardom. Yeah, she's actually pretty good. She reminds me a little like of Asuka. Not as tough, but she knows what she's doing.
I
She's
always
pretty good.
appreciate I always appreciated Asuka's style because of how, and
I did too.
I don't mean this in a bad way, but how I don't want to say sloppy, but I can't because it's not sloppy, but the thing is it looks more genuine and less like gymnasty. Because
Yes, yes,
when
yeah,
Asuka hits somebody, it looks like she's actually hitting somebody.
yeah,
So I guess it's rougher. It's a rougher style. And I always
yeah,
appreciated that.
yeah. Because some of them they do almost like gymnastics type movements, and it doesn't. It looks a little on the soft side a little bit. It doesn't look like
Yeah.
really hitting someone.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's pretty good.
So what was next? But by
And
the way, I heard that with the pre-show, which is part of the pay-per-view, but whatever. I heard it was 4.5 hours.
there was like two, something like that.
Maybe the main
Yeah.
card. I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
I'm going by other people, but if that's true, I would like to point
That's
out
insane.
that's almost double the average WWE premium live event. That's
Yeah.
almost double. It's not quite double, but it's almost double. And if you add the media scrum, it's triple,
Oh, yeah.
which we don't because it's separate. But what was next?
Yeah. The next match was sorry. Oh, the six-man tag match. It was Hook, Shibata, Samoa Joe, and Big Bill, Chris Jericho, and Jeff Cobb.
Oh yeah, I heard of that. Jeff
This
Cobb
was
was like a last
yeah,
minute.
yeah, it felt that way. It like he wasn't really supposed to be there, but they just put him there for some reason. It was okay, but it it went like 14 minutes too long.
I'm assuming it wasn't an extremely good match.
Not so much. It how it, the part I had a problem with it was Hook. It's like they make him like he's I don't know Superman or something because like he's throwing guys and throwing Big Bill and all that. It's a little unrealistic. Not to
Yeah.
say that Hook isn't tough or anything, but he shouldn't be throwing around Samoa Joe. I mean, not Samoa Joe, Big Bill. It looks weird to have someone like 5, maybe 7, 5'6", throwing someone like 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Chris actually looked good in this match, though. I thought he was going to win, and then somehow Hook came back to life and beat Chris. I think with his own move, the Judas effect.
Of course, but yeah, I'll put it to you this way. Even if I had paid for the pay-per-view, I wouldn't have wanted to watch this match. And again, this is frustrating because I want to like Jericho. I appreciate Jericho.
Yeah,
But just some like everybody's loving this whole learning tree thing. It's nails on a chalkboard for me. Which I see. Here's the thing, and I can appreciate this. It's supposed to be, but to me, for me personally, it's making me feel more like go away heat rather than like somebody kick his ass heat.
yeah.
I'm just like just stop doing it because it's annoying. Thanks, guys. Although I do appreciate him making fun of Tony Khan and Tony Khan not understanding that he's making fun of Tony Khan.
That's the only good part about
So
it.
I can appreciate that. And I was one of the guys who was I'm still on a little bit of the bubbly.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like
I love
I
that.
can never like hate Chris Jericho. Like I grew up
Oh no,
on watching him.
let's not go that far. All things are possible in Jericho.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, I was gonna say as soon as you say that, he'll give you a reason to hate him.
Yeah, I'll forget him.
So what was next?
Next one was the AEW TNT ladder match. It was with Jack Perry, Dante Martin, El Phasmo, uh, Leo Rush was in this too. I was shocked. And Mark Briscoe.
Very random.
Yeah, because it was like uh, I understand Dante Martin being there. I wasn't too sure who El Phasmo was. I was shocked Leo Rush was even in there. I thought he been left. And Mark Briscoe was there too.
Was it El Phantasmo?
Yeah, El Phantasmo.
Yeah, he's a New Japan guy, but I can't remember if he's American
Oh,
or
okay, okay.
I can't remember if he's American or Canadian, but he's from North America, but he's over there. I believe he's still in Bullet Club. He may not be in Bullet Club anymore, but at one time he was.
Oh, okay.
Um, I never really understood he was another kind of generic, not generic, but quintessential high flyer kind of guy.
Yeah, uh-huh.
It's like Jack Evans, but just a little bit taller.
Hmm.
You know, it's
For what
I
it
think
was, it
that's
was a decent match. It wasn't
um,
it
I
wasn't
mean
that bad at
I mean
all.
everybody involved has the physical ability except for Jack Perry, but and Jack Perry won, did he not?
Yeah, he did. He won
TNT
the
title.
title. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And the next one was the AEW TBS title.
Which we all
Oh, the
know.
women's match. Yeah. Mercedes and Stephanie Vanker. She was actually pretty good.
I
Like
heard Stephanie
I
was
didn't know
good.
who she was. She
She
was.
yeah. And because she was good, they had Mercedes beat her.
And that's the thing. I honestly would have them trade. Like I'd rather have her in it than Mercedes. She's actually really good. Never see
Um,
him one time ever, but I really liked this match with her.
and again, it's frustrating because I was I was a Sasha Banks fan. I want to like Mercedes Monet, but I think she's another person who is better when she's produced and she's not producing herself. Not everybody's The Rock. If AEW has
Exactly.
shown us anything, it's that not everybody's The Rock. Like, sure, The Rock can produce whatever he wants. It'll be dynamite because, he's The Rock.
It's The Rock.
But not everybody's The Rock. Some people just need producers to be like, hey, here's what we're doing. Here's what you're saying. Go out and do it. And they'll do it flawlessly. But some people just can't book for shit. And what I love
Yeah,
about this though is they're booking Mercedes bigger than they're booking their world champion.
yeah, they are.
Why didn't you just have Mercedes go for the world title? I
It doesn't make any sense.
and
I don't.
and now Britt Baker, who I would argue is their
Yeah,
biggest women's star in the history of the company, is coming
she
back
is for me.
to feud with the mid card title, not the world
Hmm.
title, which she's already won, by the way. That's like, well, I was gonna say that's like Cena coming back to win the U.S. title, but he did that, so never mind. So my point, it has no leg to stand on, so it just, I don't know. I mean, I guess you could make the case that again, well, it's Mercedes Moné. It's like, yeah, well, she's not the world champion. What would
Yeah, she's a
it's
U.S. title.
I don't know. It's a placeholder booking decision. But we know that Mercedes won.
Yeah, she won. The way she won was basically just like the bank statement or whatever that new move is. But it
The
was
one
all
that
right.
she botched her first debut in New Japan.
Yeah, yeah,
Which okay, to be fair, I'm not sure that was entirely her fault. So I don't know, but I just remember that was the moment when I said, "Oh, this is not going to work
it's not
out."
gonna work. Yeah, said the same thing.
I mean, it's not even a reflection of her. It's the Shockmaster problem. When you have when you have that big of a crash on a debut, you can't salvage that. And to be fair, I don't think that was gonna be smooth sailing either. He had a glitter stormtrooper helmet. Like, Shockmaster. Fuck that's a good idea. Like the name too. Could you imagine that pitch meeting? It's like, yeah, it's this fat guy. He's gonna wear he's gonna wear a hairy vest and a stormtrooper helmet, but not just any stormtrooper helmet because we can't do that for
Glitter.
copyright reasons. We're gonna glitter it. And he just jumps through the wall and loses it.
That's the good. That's the remember seeing that.
It's kind of like Miro's debut when he went for the he went for the camel clutch. I can't remember. Game over. That's what he calls it. And he missed.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the guy's sitting there selling with no hands touching him at all, which that's just unfortunate. Oh, so what was next?
the it was the IWGP World Title. It was Naito versus John Moxley.
Which I know he probably won't see this, but Mr. Cornett asked the question, so I will answer it. I can actually answer, Jim, Mr. Cornett, why Naito does this. It confuses some people.
Okay. Still no.
When Naito was first starting out in New Japan, he was the new, I forget what year this was. This may have been like 2012 and 2011 maybe. It was when he graduated from being a young lion. He was the chosen one. He was next in line, but he wasn't ready. He wasn't. The audience did not take to him. So they sent him on an excursion to Mexico. And while he was in Mexico, for those of you who may not know, audiences in Mexico are, well, they're dicks. We'll just put it that way. They're racist dicks. So everybody was going like this to Naito because he's Asian.
Uh,
And so Naito,
yeah.
this is where Naito got in with Los Ingobernables. So what he started
Okay.
doing to give the audience the middle finger is he started going like this to all of them, and it stuck. So when he went back to Japan, he kept doing the same thing. So now that's part of his gimmick. So
Oh, okay.
that is why Naito does that.
I had a feeling that was about, but I didn't know exactly how it came that way. But I had a feeling that was the reason.
And I like, again, Naito's another person that I like a lot. Um,
I did too.
but yeah, I've always
I
appreciated Naito.
remember
I've
him and
always,
Jericho had a match. It was good.
yeah. Well, and I can just appreciate because apparently, and again, this is probably sensationalized. It is pro wrestling, but apparently Naito, when he came back to Japan, he really did have a bit of an attitude like, I don't give a shit. Like, fuck the audience. They don't like me. I'm gonna do what I want to do, and the office is probably like, hey, they like that. Go do that. Kind of like DX, you know?
It worked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, it
yeah.
worked. But also, I think that was another case of like the best pro wrestling personalities are people who are themselves and dialed up to 11 or 12. And
Mhm.
I think there was actual resentment there in Naito, so he just went out there and put it out there and said, "Hey, fuck you guys. You know, you didn't support me when I was just trying to be your guy, your champion, so I'm going to go out here and do me." And the funny thing about that is people respect it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's when I started watching him. I saw it's pretty good.
Yeah. And well, he's still maybe not a household name, but he's certainly up there.
Oh yeah, yeah. I would say like out of the top five like New Japan guys that people know,
Certainly today,
he's
yeah.
up there. Yeah, 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 yeah. Definitely.
Well, and Naito's one of those guys. So I kind of pride myself on this. I'm not always right, but I'm right a lot of the time. The first time I see, or like when somebody debuts, I generally can get a feel for how far they'll go. There's been a handful
Uh-huh.
of exceptions where I was just wrong, but Naito was one of those guys. The first time I saw him, I was like, "Oh, that's a world champion." He's not there yet, but I
Yeah, yeah.
see it. It's there,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
you know. Funnily enough, CM Punk was one of those guys too. When I first started watching wrestling in like 2000, late 2005, 2006, was when he started to do the vignettes for debuting on ECW, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
I don't get it. I don't get why I get the sense that he's going to be a big star because he's so different from everybody else. But I just knew it,
Yeah.
you know.
Same
And
here.
sure, it took a while, but he definitely got there.
Yeah, it was
Trying
just
to
something about him that was unique. That was like he's different, even though he's smaller than a lot of the main guys. But the it for some reason he just shines more than they did.
Yep, that it did. So I kind of pride myself on that. Like I said, I'll admit when I'm wrong, but I thought the same thing about Britt Baker, and I mean all in Britt Baker, not AEW Britt Baker.
Oh, okay.
When I saw her at All In, she was the only one in that. Well, no, that's not true because well, actually, I never got that feeling about Tessa Blanchard. There was always something, and I couldn't put my finger
Hmm.
on it, but I was like, world champion, yes, but not like a history making one. But Britt
Uh,
Baker, I was like, I don't know, there's something about her because I had no idea who she was. And
to be honest, I was the opposite. When I first saw her, I was like, ah, just generic. And then later on, when I saw her match, I was like, oh, there's something definitely there. She's definitely should be a world title guy. Oh, girl.
girl,
But
well, maybe she could be a world title guy.
yeah.
And likewise, the first time I saw Riho, I was like, I gotta say, the first time I saw Riho, I was like, this is so stupid. And they're gonna make her world champion
Yeah.
because. So I guess I was wrong on that one because I didn't see shit, and she's been a two-time world champion, hasn't she? At least once she's been world champion. I can't. No, she only
She
once.
was twice. I think she was twice,
Oh, maybe
sadly.
I don't know. But I got the sense with Thunder Rosa too. I was like, oh, world champ,
Yeah.
world
Yeah,
champ.
honestly, I did. Mhm.
Hopefully WWE Women's Champion soon enough. Because
Oh,
honestly,
she's leaving?
she's one of the many people. I don't know, but she's one of the many people that's being wasted in AEW.
Mhm. It seems like there's resentment or something, or
Yeah, there's
someone
something. Well,
like her.
I think that goes back to how she was brought in as the NWA Women's Champion, not even under
Yeah.
contract. But it's like, sorry, they needed ratings, and with the exception of Britt Baker, none of you were bringing it.
Yeah, and it worked. So I don't get
Yeah.
why people hate on it.
Well, and I take that back because Sheeta was good too. But I blame Tony Khan's
Oh yeah.
booking. But anyway, what was next? Because like like is usually the case, this AEW pay-per-view's gone way too long.
Yeah, yeah. The last match was the world title Swerve versus
Will Ospreay.
Will Ospreay.
So they simultaneously buried their newest acquisition and their world champion. Congratulations.
That was sad.
Well,
So actually,
I figured out how to put into words my problem, my issue with most Will Ospreay matches. Generally speaking, they're two matches in one. They go too long. They do way too much. Like I remember his, I think it was a Wrestle Kingdom, I believe. I don't remember what NJPW pay-per-view it was, but it was him and Omega. They had two
uh-huh.
whole wrestling matches. And
Hmm.
there was one point where, and I mean, not criticizing the in-ring work at all. It's stellar. Osprey hit him in the head, and it looked like he killed him,
Yeah, yeah,
legitimately.
the
And he got a 2 count. And then they got up and proceeded to have 15 more minutes of wrestling. I was like, it looked like you broke his neck. It would have been the perfect finish. And if you were a heel, you would have gotten heat for it. Like, the
yeah.
fuck? And I watched the highlights of this match, and the highlight reel was too long.
It was like a 30-minute match or something. It was
Yeah.
like at one point I was like I didn't care who
Well,
win.
and for some reason they're doing this thing with Swerve too, where he'll have the perfect finish and then they won't end it. But they'll end
Yeah,
it like a minute and a half later with another move.
yeah, that was less impactful than
I've
the one
I've
he did before.
yeah, I've seen him do like,
Mhm.
and he's got some brutal moves. He's got that double stomp, which
That kick, yeah,
the kick to
the
the
back of the
head,
head,
which, oh
yeah,
my God, that thing looks,
devastating.
oh, like that's
It's
the
like a
kind of finish.
shotgun.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
kind of finisher that honestly it looks so good that you genuinely like, even though like again, wrestling's fake, but you see that and you're like, ooh, I hope
yeah.
that was
I'm like,
fake. Ugh.
how much fake can that be? I literally saw his
You'd
foot hit his
you'd be
head.
shocked. I saw an interview with that infamous you remember, I forget what show it was, but I remember the Shelton Benjamin HBK mat spot where Shelton
Okay.
springboards off the top into a super kick.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And he said Sean barely touched me. And I was like, really? Because it looked like he killed you.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite spots ever. Because, oh my God. And that's why the super kick should be a finisher.
Yeah, not anymore. It's like you need like 100 of them per match.
Well, as someone who's seen and taken a lot of different sidekicks, some people got it and some people don't. So
Yeah,
clearly, HBK's got it and the Young Bucks don't. Because if you have to throw 6 sidekicks to somebody's head to knock them out, you kick like a bitch.
yeah,
Not sorry. That's why Sweet Chin Music was a finishing move.
yeah. It's like once that happened, you're done.
If you take one of those to the jaw, if you survive, you're not conscious. And plus, I mean, Shawn Michaels did it
Yeah.
second to none. Like, Shelton Benjamin, I'm so
To me,
frustrated,
he's like so underrated and underutilized,
so
especially
underrated.
when he came back.
The
I liked
fact
him
that
when he
he,
was with Kurt.
well, the fact that he's never been WWE champion, I think is a crime.
That's sad. Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Like, I get Brock Lesnar's big. I've seen Shelton Benjamin next to Brock Lesnar. He ain't that much smaller.
Sure.
I've seen Shelton next
Yeah.
to Bobby Lashley. He's not that much smaller.
Mhm. And
Shelton,
he's
yeah.
even bigger now. If you see
Yeah, I
him
know, and
lately,
he got
you see
bigger.
his arms.
Yeah, he got that Randy Orton protein powder.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, I don't know what the fuck you guys are eating, but can I get some? Does it come in pill form or is it injection only?
Yeah, it's
I
that time
kid.
off.
Yeah, he said that time off serum. That time
Yeah.
off serum, brother. Oh God. But yeah. I would I and the sad part is Shelton Benjamin is almost 50
Yeah.
and he should he could be so valuable in AEW, but apparently Max Caster was saying that he doesn't want Shelton Benjamin there, and I'm just like, well,
Yeah, to take
and
a
and
spot. Yeah.
as much as I like Max Caster, um, bro, you could get in there and have Shelton Benjamin teach you how to wrestle. Who
Yeah, it's
not
like
only and Shelton Benjamin is a rare commodity in that he's an exceptional singles and tag team wrestler. He's done both, and he's done both extremely well.
right. Yeah, not many people could say they were both singles and tag and actually did it well.
Yeah, and for any extended period of time too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Hopefully, we see Shelton Benjamin in AEW. Well, I'd rather see him in WWE, but I'll put it to you this way: if AEW has Shelton Benjamin, I'll start watching again because there's hope.
Yeah.
He'd be an invaluable asset to them, both in and out of the ring, along with Jeff Jarrett. I really wish Tony Khan would give Jeff Jarrett the pencil. I really do.
Somebody else. It's just
Anybody, but
you know, yeah.
well, because and here's the thing: a lot of people blame Jeff Jarrett for TNA, and that's not it's not entirely his doing. In fact, a lot of the bad shit was stuff that he was against, at least according to Mr. Cornette. So, but if you look back across when Jeff Jarrett was a booker, for the most part, it was good stuff, and I think we could use some of that Southern wrestling mentality again. You don't know what you had till it's
I would
gone.
hate to say it, but I think even Vince Russo could help just a tiny bit.
Nope, nope. I'm no. Which, by the way,
Uh,
speaking of Vince Russo, if you want to have yourself a laugh, go to YouTube and look up Jim Cornette bitch slap. He reads from one of Vince Russo's books, a television treatment that he wrote for his basically his ripoff of Glow.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that one.
Oh,
Yeah.
welcome to Bitch Slap, where you can see such female wrestling superstars as Toxic Shock. And yes, it is what you think. And yes, I'm really glad that show never got made. Not that it would have, but
No.
anyway. Um, so yeah, Moxley lost the NJPW title,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Moxley lost against Nio,
and
and
Swerve
Swerve beat
retained.
Will. Will.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like I said, simultaneously burying their world champion and their newest high dollar acquisition in one match. So good job. Because what are you
Yep.
going to do
It
now?
made zero sense.
They put Will in that spot too soon, and they'd already buried Swerve. Honestly, they should have just put the title on Will.
Yeah. Like if you're gonna bury him, might as well do a good job at
Yeah,
it.
I mean, you've already dug the hole. Just kick him in already. Like, don't,
Yeah.
like, not for nothing, because you could at least then rehabilitate him somehow with another storyline. But it,
Hmm.
his world title reign is already, like, I'm not saying you can't fix it, but it's going to be an uphill battle.
Yeah. It
It's going
does
to be
nothing for
rough.
both of them. Like you
Exactly.
got
And,
Will, he just got in. You know, he lost, and then you got Swerve, who been lackluster since like last four pay-per-views.
you know,
So it's, um,
but anyway, so that was Forbidden Door. Hopefully I wish they would close it, but it's not a Forbidden Door anymore
he,
when you have one every year.
yeah, that's the thing. Yeah,
But I
there's no
digress.
nothing forbidden about it.
I digress. Anyway, what happened next? I guess that would technically be
Oh, that was the last match. Was the world
Oh,
title.
I mean next in the week of wrestling.
That would be the Money in the Bank. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I heard. Again, I had not. I actually forgot it was going on, and I was busy working on
I did
other
too.
projects. But you did watch it, so
I saw some of it, like some. I saw most of the matches. I think there's only one match I didn't see.
well. Let's. Can you pull up that card too, please? Because I know
Yeah,
this will be a
yeah.
more manageable length. While you're doing that, we should point out that Ethan Page
The
won
All Ego.
won more championships in NXT in a month than fucking he did in the whole time in AEW. And I'll give credit where credit's due. He's looking good. And
Oh yeah, much better.
Ethan Page is another person that I didn't really get, but for some I don't know if it's the lighting in NXT, but I see something there now. It's the strangest thing. I literally did. Even Sean Spears looks better in NXT, which I that's going to be a tragedy. At least they're calling him Sean Spears and they didn't call him Ty Dillinger again. But
Oh yeah, that's a plus. Yeah.
but I don't see much happening for Sean Spears just because of his age, and it's a shame because he's exceptional. But I just think there were too many years of him trying to get into a spot and for whatever reason not getting there, and it's a shame. But I don't see much for him after the maybe the IC title.
Yeah, I can see that.
I could see the IC title, maybe NXT championship, but all ego Ethan Page won it. And we also saw Joe Hendry appear a second time in NXT. I gotta wonder, is Joe Henry under contract? You would think he
Oh, I don't.
is.
Is he? I thought he was still at Impact
No, I mean
or
under contract.
TNA.
I mean under contract in TNA.
Yeah, yeah, I thought he was still.
I don't know, man. I think. Well, okay. So let's. So I've been hearing people talk about how like Josh Alexander, and then obviously is wrestling other places too. And then you got Joe Hendry and Jordan Grace doing dates in WWE. So
Hmm.
I'm guessing that maybe TNA's big names have things in their contracts where they can do other stuff to get more money.
Uh-huh.
That would make sense, and plus it's good for TNA. So, but yeah, Joe Hendry is somebody that I think once his TNA contract is up, I think he'll be in NXT.
I think so too.
I
But
think they might be sowing the seeds there already. And I think you might just see Jordan
I just
Grace
hope he don't
appear on
get
the
buried
main.
too much.
I don't think he will. Because he helped oh, I can never remember his name. It's not I almost called him Cecil. Ah, the old NXT champion. He helped him and he tagged with him in a match against Ethan Page and Sean Spears. The hell's his name? It's not
Hmm.
anyway. And like I said, I just think you'll find Jordan Grace appearing on the main roster once her TNA contract is up. And again, I'll said it
Yeah,
before, I'll say it again.
I believe so.
Yeah. I said before, I'll say it again. I don't like Jordan Grace. I don't like her as a person, but I like her a lot as a wrestler.
Yeah, honestly, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
But even before then, I never did care for her.
I don't I'll be honest, I think she's kind of a shitty person, but
Hmm.
it works. In the ring it works. So
Okay, the for the in the Bank match, the first one was actually the men's match.
interesting.
Yeah, I was shocked that they started with them first.
Yeah, they usually don't, but
Yeah, it was Carmelo Hayes.
that's
Um
the guy.
oh, okay. him. They had who's this guy? Just saw it. Okay, they had yeah, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, Jey Uso, Chad Gable, and LA Knight.
Yeah. Is it just me or most of those guys too big a names to be in the Money in the Bank match?
Well, Drew is. You would
Yeah.
think he would be out of it. I can see Carmelo because like
Yeah, I
this.
can see
I'm not
Carmelo
sure if it's his
Hayes.
first one, and even
Man,
Andrea.
man, I miss when Money in the Bank was at WrestleMania.
Hmm.
That
I
was
miss
only
when it
for a
was
few
good.
years. Right? Yeah. Well, and again, that's when it was basically like the battle of the upper mid card, and it was like
Yeah.
it's like that's how you would get a guy into the world title picture easily. I mean, hell, it worked with Damian Priest, worked wonders. And now like immediately Damian Priest is he's going to be in the world title picture as long as he's in WWE now because he
Yeah.
won it, defended it, and looks like a champion. But who is Mr. Money in the Bank?
Oh, that was I think it was Drew.
Okay,
Yeah, Drew won. Yeah. Drew won.
all right. I guess it makes sense for the story, but whatever.
Yeah, it makes sense later on, but yeah,
It will
I
make sense
kind of
later on.
wanted LA Knight to win.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, honestly, they're close to burying LA Knight because they built him up so much and then he didn't win anything. So
Yeah,
I'm still I'm
because
still I'm
okay,
still on the yeah.
when Bray was around, I thought they was gonna like build him back up after Bray died, but it doesn't look good.
Or I mean, they kind of
Yeah,
were, right? But I don't know.
yeah,
I don't
but
know.
now it's
I trust Triple H. I've learned to trust Paul.
uh-huh.
If for nothing else, the awesome stuff we're getting with the Bloodline stories. And the fact that they
Yeah,
hired Jacob Fatu, which I mean,
yeah, I was gonna say that.
I'm gonna be
Yeah,
real with you. I don't think Vince would have done that in a million years. Like, "Why- nobody's gonna like this guy. It doesn't make sense. What's a Samoan werewolf? That doesn't make any sense."
yeah. Or he would have changed him, like have him come out in like a
If
werewolf mask or a cat mask or something stupid.
oh, you put him in a fucking clown costume.
Yeah, make him a furry.
You know, you say that as a joke, but he actually did that to um he was Justin Gabriel in WWE for PJ Black.
Oh,
He put him in the bunny outfit.
oh yeah.
So he actually made him a furry.
Furry.
By the way, he has the greatest episode of getting fired, the greatest story of getting fired from WWE because he wasn't being booked, so he just didn't come to TV for months, and he apparently was getting ready to get onto a plane to go skydiving, and he got a call and was like, "Where are you? Your match is up next." And he was like, "Fuck off! I'm not coming."
That is good.
That according to him, that is what happened. But so Mr. McIntyre is Mr. Money in the Bank. So what else we got? What came next?
The next one was Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker.
Ooh.
I was shocked that Braun lost against Sami.
I mean, it was bound to happen sometime. I don't know that so this is again, AEW does this more often than WWE, but sometimes every company will put themselves in a lose-lose situation, and this
Yeah,
this is one of them because Braun Breaker has been indestructible up to this point, and
hmm
I get, but Sami Zayn? Like Randy Orton,
I
sure.
think this is like the second time he lost against Sami Zayn. Because there was like every time he faces him, he loses. That what Michael Cole said. So I think this is like the second time he lost against Sammy, which
Uh,
doesn't seem right. Not to say Sammy's bad, but
no,
still.
and again, and that's where I'm at. But right now, you don't want to because they're clearly doing something with Sammy, so you don't want him to lose. So this is
Yeah,
the lose lose thing. Like again, Braun Breaker losing to like Randy Orton, to John Cena. Um,
I get that. Yeah, that's
yeah,
way
I
believable, and that's
that
okay.
that carries a lot more weight. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
but yes, yeah, I mean, like it's not the end of the world, but at the same time, it's kind of like,
No,
eh.
yeah, just a little shock. I actually thought he was going to lose
I bet it was a good
and
match though.
win. Oh, it was good. It was a good match. It was more like a. It wasn't that long, maybe like a 15-minute match.
I don't
Uh,
know. That the 15's a pretty long match.
yeah, it's decent size, but
I guess it's kind of
it
like
was
a
more
quintessential
of
pay-per-view match.
yeah, like Braun throwing him around the ring, and that's essentially was the match. Just him throwing him away, and the reason why he lost because Braun like charged him, and Sammy move out the way, and he hit the ring post. So it was like his own fault that he lost. Oh well, that's what they looking at.
Oh, but yeah. So Sami Zayn retained. What came after that?
The next one was
As long as it wasn't generic luchador number two versus some guy off the street,
oh,
I'm
it was
happy.
Steph. It was Steph versus Damian Priest.
Who the fuck? Who's Seth? Seth.
Steph Rollins.
Got it. Okay.
Uh, he It was a botch in this, I think, towards the end
I saw that,
where
and I'll
yeah,
be honest. I think it was a botch, but I'm not 100% sure. Not like the top rope debacle from
yeah.
which honestly I'm shocked Damien didn't break his ankle with
Hmm.
that. I'm shocked. And then somebody else had a botch on that too because of the top rope. I forget who
Oh
though.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I saw Damien. I'm shocked he didn't snap his ankle in half because for those of you who aren't aware, the ropes are actual ropes and they are pulled
Mhm.
tight. And you'd be amazed what a taut rope can do in terms of damage. So very, very lucky.
Yeah. It was overall a good match.
I
Just
bet I bet it hurt like a motherfucker too.
yeah, it looked like it.
I bet that hurt a lot.
I thought it was gonna be over with after that. I thought he was just gonna call it
I thought he
and
was
I'm
injured.
done.
I did. I thought he
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
injured.
I did too.
I thought, oh man, that sucks for him. But apparently he's
Hmm.
fine. So, hey, good enough. But I mean, I imagine that Damian won and retained his title.
He won, and then Drew cashed in.
Okay, wait, hang on. So what? Oh, did CM Punk screwed him again, right?
Yeah, yeah, he did.
Okay,
Yeah,
I take back what I said about Drew winning the Money in the Bank.
yeah. That's the reason why he won because like just to finish the storyline with Punk.
Yeah, I take it back now. If they'd waited,
But yeah,
I don't know.
I can understand, but it kind of feels like a waste of the Money in the Bank just to
That's
for a
what I'm saying.
storyline, you know?
That's what I'm saying. On the same show, even.
Yeah, yeah.
If they
It was
teased
like they
it.
did it just for that.
So you know what they could have done, honestly, and they could have teased it and he could have still kept he could have come out and acted like he was gonna cash in, but then Punk like blows his cover too soon.
Yeah,
Like he hops the barricade too soon and then Drew doesn't. And then they could even fight
it
on the
actually
outside. Yeah.
exactly. So it was like, oh, it's kind of a waste of Money in the Bank. Technically,
Yeah.
they didn't even need it. if they're going to do that, you know. But yeah, it was a
Yeah,
good
there was
match
there
overall.
was another year that they got rid of it early though, because I guess some years I get it when you have something like Money in the Bank, you kind of book yourself into a corner to a certain extent because you have to have somebody. Um,
Yeah,
and usually it's just not. I liked how they used to do it, where baby faces would be like, "I'm cashing in on this day, such and such." Like when RVD cashed his in, he's like, "I'm cashing in at One Night Stand," which was like 4 months away.
yeah, yeah,
And it
yeah.
was like that was the babyface thing to do. The heels were the ones that would cash in right after a world title match, but now it doesn't matter.
Uh-huh.
That's like I think it was when Liv Morgan did it. I can't remember who now. I think it
Oh yeah,
was
she
Liv
did do
Morgan.
it.
Yeah, and she
Yeah,
did
she
it
did.
right after a world title match, and I was like, I thought Liv Morgan was a babyface. Why are they
Now it doesn't matter.
at the time she was, and it's like, why are
Yeah,
they booking her like a heel? This doesn't. But yeah, now it just doesn't matter. So Damien did retain.
he retained. Yeah, he lost, then retained. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, he did. He lost. He lost against Steph first, and that's where the botch would happen. And then um, Drew cash in because
So
it was
wait,
like
so did Seth win the world
I
title
know
back?
it seemed like he did because it was like a 3 count. They rang the bell, but then everybody was confused, and Damien was looking like what? And then some reason Drew came out and became a triple threat match, and then that's how um, Punk came in later
Okay, well
and caused him to.
it still says that Damian Priest is the world heavyweight champion. So for
He is, because
okay, so
when Punk hit Drew with the belt or something,
okay, whatever.
but being there was a triple threat, it wasn't no DQ. It was all right, but
Okay, whatever.
and the next the next match was uh the Bloodline versus Randy on Cody and Kevin.
So who made up
It
the
was
bloodline contingent?
it was Solo, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga.
Cool. Bet it was good.
Yeah, it was. It was. I liked this match. The ref had fell or something like that, and it really fell,
Of course.
and that's when Jacob like took advantage of that and start beating up Cody.
Yeah, you can always count on a referee to have a glass jaw when you need one.
Yeah, yeah. Overall, it was a good match.
Yeah, I mean, look at the people involved. I'm not shocked at all. But who won?
Yeah. Oh, Solo.
I was gonna say, I
He
assume the
won.
bloodline did.
Yeah, yeah. He won, and with the help of Jacob, it kind of feels like he's going to take over in a way. I'm not sure, but it kind of feels like they may have Jacob take over and this beat Solo for it, but not too sure.
I don't know, man. All I know is, like I said, I'm trusting the bloodline storyline is one that I've just been along for the ride for a while
Yeah, yeah.
now. Because everything I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, this would be really cool. They do it. I was like, oh, it'd be really cool if there was like infighting and you ended up with two bloodlines when they started kind of sowing the seeds of that, and then lo and behold, that's what they were doing.
Yeah, yeah.
And everybody's been talking for because it seemed like a foregone conclusion that Jacob Fatu was going to be brought in at some point, and sure enough,
Hmm.
and now it looks like his brother's going to be brought in at some point, which makes sense
Yeah.
because right now y- it would be Roman and the Usos versus the other four, so they need another person. Presumably, they need two because either it's going to be Solo or The Rock that's going to head that other side of the bloodline,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
which I still think it's going to come down to Roman versus Rock somehow,
I think
some
so
way.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it'll
And they
be
still
cool.
like want to do that match. Yeah,
It'll be cool. So Bloodline won. Was that the main event? No, that wouldn't have been the main event.
yeah, that was the main event.
Oh, that was the main event. So that was it.
Yep, yep.
Well,
It was a
imagine.
nice short pay-per-view, but it was good. I enjoy it more than the AEW one.
Well, shit, I mean, come on, that's for because there were actual storylines in this one,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
actually the
multiple.
point. That was supposed to be the point of this episode, which we kind of touched on, but it's like, where have all the storylines gone? They've gone to WWE.
Yeah, yeah.
They left AEW, which AEW was never stellar with their storylines, but they used to at least have them.
It was at least an attempt to have one,
Yeah,
but now it's just
they may not have been
match
very good,
after
but I mean,
match. Yeah.
yeah. Or like, ugh, if you're lucky, they'll shoot an angle like a week or two before a match, and some of them are literally made. Some of the major matches are literally made like the Dynamite before a pay-per-view.
Hmm. You
And
could
it's,
tell.
yeah, well, I mean, you can tell it happens on television. So what else happened? Anything else of note happen in wrestling?
uh, just those two. That's the main thing. I saw.
Feel like I'm
Not
forgetting
much.
something.
Was it NXT?
We talked about Joe Hendry
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Ethan
and
Page.
Page. Those the main two things I saw.
I feel like there was something else. I feel like there was something in AEW that actually happened that might have been good, but I could be wrong. Because they talked about Tony Storm getting healed in the face.
Yeah, if it was, I didn't see it.
I don't. I'll remember it after we go off.
Yeah, I know.
That's how it always happens.
uh,
Yeah, it's just frustrating because you wanna root for AEW, but at the same time they just keep doing dumb shit.
yeah, yeah,
Although
yeah. Because like
I've
the whole
heard that.
purpose of watching it was for like watching new stars, and like now I just don't even care.
Yeah, and that's really fun because I keep seeing because I still follow the AEW pages on social media. I still maintain whoever is in charge of their social media should be fired because they upload the dumbest clips and the comment sections are gold. Like I mean, and like I love how every time they announce new DLC content for Fight Forever, all the comments are the
Oh,
same.
that crap. Oh yeah,
One person was
wasting.
like I saw they put out a new pack, and one person is like, "There's 12 people playing it in the world on Steam. 12. There's 12 in the entire planet of Earth. 12 people were playing it at that moment. Are you looking?
Honestly, yeah, I am.
Yeah, let us know how many people are playing Fight Forever.
26.
Hey, they're having a good night. It's almost double.
I'm not even lying. There's literally, it says, 27 now. 27 peak players right now, as we
Ooh.
speak, in the last 30 days.
All right, they're doing okay.
That's,
Well,
that is
now
sad.
is yeah. Well, now is a and I forgive me for my ignorance. I'm not really a hardcore gamer.
Mhm.
What would you say is a typical player amount for like a game that's popular? Few thousand, a
Oh,
few 100,000?
yeah, like for a fighting game like this, I'll compare it to like maybe WWE,
Okay, yeah, that's a very apt comparison.
2K24. Like right now, 2K24 is around 1,500. No,
Okay, so putting that in perspective. Well, this is
yeah,
probably a good time to wrap it up because
27 people.
your camera's been frozen with you mid laugh
Oh, really?
for almost a minute. It's a
Oh,
good
really?
picture. It's not an
Oh, that
embarrassing
sucks.
one. You just look very happy about the fact that nobody's playing Fight Forever.
Yeah, my camera is frozen. Hold on a second. I think I can fix it.
Yep, there you
Okay,
go.
okay, I fixed it. Yeah. But yeah, there's yeah for the latest WWE game is about 1,500 right now.
Which I hear good things about it, but still though,
Oh,
if I
it's good. It's good. It has its problems. It's overpriced, like
well, they all are
way
now, but
overpriced. Yeah,
I
but
heard
it's just
some person did put in the comments that WWE 2K24 uh Create a Wrestler was better than Fight Forever's entire graphics package.
oh yeah. Well, yeah, they're two different games when it comes to that. Like Fight Forever is like PS3 graphics, I guess. I would say PS2, but it's a little bit better than that.
It's better than that, yeah. I just remember when they put out the first like official trailer for the game, I looked at it and I went, like, I'm not a hardcore gamer, so I could be wrong, but to me this kind
Yeah.
of looks this looks a little questionable. Like for as much time
I'll
and
put it
money
this
as
way,
they
I
spent.
play like most of the games. I played most of all of the WE games from '06. I played probably an hour of Fight Forever, and that's it. I have it, but I haven't played more than that first hour, and that's it. It's just so bad.
Well, and as like I
It's
said,
worth the money.
as much as they were like hyping it up, I knew it was. I kind of had a feeling it was going to crash and burn just because of how much they hyped it up.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because there was just too much hype, and it's very rare that it meets expectations when there's not much, you know, chatter about something. So maybe if they just kept their mouth shut,
Yeah,
people would have been like, you know what, it was a great first effort, but they kept talking about how awesome it was going to be. Because I mean, honestly, let's be real. Let's give credit where credit's due. It was their first video game ever.
that's true, but it's also it's the price point. That think that's
Yeah,
the main problem.
I think that's the biggest thing is that it's like, yeah, but it costs that much, and people still have to pay for DLC content when apparently they bought the season pass assuming they were going to get the DLC.
Exactly. There's four season passes, four of them. So it doesn't make any sense.
None whatsoever. Well, they probably have to do it to recoup so that they can attempt to turn a profit on the game, but
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Speaking of turning a profit, um, I don't know where I was going with that. That was a terrible segue. Um, Donate to the Kickstarter, get your tickets for one weekend at Horrorland, and join us there. And if you can't make it to Cincinnati, Ohio, November 1st through the 5th, you can donate to the $20 tier and get virtual access. But we have to meet the Kickstarter goal. There's still enough time left to do it, so we need your help. And any other, first link in the description, by the way, any other wrestling news, or shall we bid them adieu?
That's it for today. That was
Okay.
pretty much everything.
Okay, you heard that, folks. You can go home now. Just go. In the words of The Rock, off